Hello everyone, today we'll start learning the programming system in the C++ language. And why do you think you need to learn programming? Steve Jobs once said everyone on the planet should learn to program because it teaches you to think. In our days, almost everything is the result of programming to one degree or another. Programming is when simply explain to the computer what you need it to do for you. Programming cannot be compared to playing a musical instrument or playing sports. It's much more interesting. You can create something completely new. It's another way of creating expression. Thanks to your code, the computer will follow your commands, implement your ideas. And one more question, why C++ especially? C++ is one of the most popular programming languages, distinguished by its flexibility and versatility. A lot of programs are written in C++, and having learned it, you can easily switch to another programming languages such as Java, which used to write applications for large organizations, Objective-C, used to create mobile applications, or simply master other language of the C family. To create programs in C++, you need a programming environment. For example, you can use programming systems such as Visual Studio, C++, CodeBlocks, DivC++, and others. Let's consider the structure of a C++ program. Below is a description of each line command. For example, include iostream. This directive tells the compiler to include the contents of the iostream header file. This header file contains a declaration for the scene and cout objects, which are used for input and output respectively, and using namespace std. This directive tells the compiler to use the std namespace by default. This allows you to refer to the scene and cout object without having to prefix their names with std. And int main. This function is the entry point for all C++ programs. It's where the program's execution begins and ends. Also, setlocate else it's C-type Russian. This function sets the local to Russian. This is necessary to ensure that the output of the cout objects is displayed correctly in Russian. And then cout and hello. This statement outputs the string hello to the console. And return 0. This statement returns the value 0 from the main function. This is a signal to the operating system that the program terminated successfully. And then data types. Data types are used to store data used by a program, and a variable is a section of computer memory that has a specific name and time. The name of a variable is called an identifier. The identifier of a variable must consist of letters, digits, and underscore characters. A variable can store data of one type. There are four main data types, like integer type, floating point type, boolean type, and hard type. And about the integer type. The integer type is used to store integers. The range of integers values depends on the type of variable. And about the floating point type. The floating point type is used to store floating point numbers. The range of floating point values depends on the other types of variable too. And about boolean type. The boolean type is used to store logical values. Logical values can take two values, true and false. And about character type. The character type is used to store a single character. And then we will talk about operations. There are lots of types of operations. For example, one of them is addition. The result of the operation is the sum of two numbers, and the result of the operation subtraction is the difference of two numbers, like subtraction. And multiplication, the result of the operation is the product of two numbers. And about integer division, the result of the operation is the integer part of the division of one number by another. And about modules, the result of the operation is the remainder of the division of an integer by another integer. And about floor, it rounds down to the nearest integer. Now you are familiar with the structured data types and operations in a C++ program. Now I want to reinforce this information with an example. So let's make our own calculator in Visual Studio. For example, Ramina wants to help her brother with his math homework. She decided to make him a calculator where he can enter numbers. The program will output the result as shown below. At the very beginning of the program, we write include iostream to include the library and using namespace std to avoid having to refer to input and output commands in each line. Next, we write int main so that when we finish writing the program, we can check the code and open the parentheses. Then, inside the parentheses, we write setlocate else type Russian. Next, we will create three variables a, b, and p. With these variables, we can enter the data to be calculated and output the resulting value. Count enter the first number and sin value a. This means that the program will first output the message, enter the first number, and after we enter a value, that number will be entered. Then we will repeat the same thing with the value of b. Next, we need to write the operation. In this case, we will write the multiplication operation. The type of operation you can choose by own, and to output the resulting value to the screen, we write cout p equal e. To make the program perform this operation only once, we write system pause and return 0 to correctly terminate the program and close the parentheses. This is the end of our video tutorial. Thank you for your attention and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.